Hello everyone. Today I'm here to talk to you about how we started our homeschooling journey. Some of you may have already caught my video about what homeschooling is like for us now, 9 years in with 2 teens and a 4th grader. And you're like, okay, that's great, but it's not really helping me get started. So today I'm here to answer that. When we made the decision to start homeschooling, and actually it had been a decision we had thought about for a while. We almost started when our oldest child was going into kindergarten, but instead, when we finally did start, and I wish we had done it sooner, our eldest was going into 4th. Our middle child, you'll hear this quite often. We don't really know what grade he was going into. Our county would have had him going into kindergarten, but his preschool teacher had said he needs somewhere that's giving him 1st grade material. I should have listened to her before I bought curriculum, but I'll get to that in a minute. And then we also had I guess she was 18 months by the time we started. Okay. So it was an interesting journey to start. And so I'm just going to share with you what I've learned along the way, what I wish I had known when I started, and I hope that it helps you as much as people have helped me through my journey. And I have notes so that hopefully I don't squirrel too much. Okay. This might be my biggest piece of advice. And of course, I'm probably going to say that again. But here's what I found, especially lately, that when people decide that they want to homeschool, they immediately get on social media and they join some groups and they ask 1 or 2 questions and then just take that as gospel and run with it. Well, social media does have a lot of fabulous options out there to help you on your homeschooling journey and to help you ask questions about curricula and just day in and day out of stuff. However, when it comes down to the nitty-gritty of getting started, please just don't blanket trust any answer you get on social media. I cannot emphasize enough. A lot of us come to homeschooling because of some emotional decisions, and there's nothing wrong with that, but don't make it a split-second decision. Make sure it's something you've discussed with your spouse or significant other. Make sure that you've thought it out and you didn't just decide at 10 p.m. on a Tuesday night that you're going to start homeschooling at 9 a.m. on Wednesday, okay? And here's what I want you to do. Not ask it on social media. I want you, for yourself, to search what the homeschool laws are in your state. Because they're going to differ from state to state. In case you didn't know, even though, yes, there is a federal Department of Education, states are responsible for their children's educational laws, okay? Not responsible for the children, but for their educational laws, okay? So every state's going to have some different rules about how you go about homeschooling. And probably now you're asking, well, how do I know I'm getting the actual law? That's an excellent question because very often your school district won't even understand homeschool law. I know, that's a sad reality, but it is true. Schools often hand out the wrong information. So I highly encourage you can do a search on your favorite search engine for homeschool laws in X state. But a great source that will always give you the honest, no fluff law of where you live is the Homeschool Legal Defense Association. Okay? Their website is, I hope I don't get it wrong, hslda.org. Okay? So go there. Know what the basics are for you for testing requirements, all of that, and go from there. Okay? So, gosh, we're already 4 minutes in and I didn't want to make this too long, but I just feel like that's so important. Here's the other thing. Be prepared for lifestyle changes. Y'all are going to be eating the majority of, and granted, under coronavirus restrictions, you may already be experiencing this. You're going to be eating almost all your meals at home. The house is going to get messy. You're going to have to decide what to put first. And I just made peace with that before we even started homeschooling, that my house was going to be cluttered. And I was okay with that. Some relatives, not so much. But hey, not their kids. Okay. For curricula, this is one of the biggest questions I see asked. And it can be tricky, especially now where we're not having a lot of homeschool conventions or easily getting into bookstores or things like that. Because I want to thumb through those books. I want to see those lab kits. I want to touch everything, right? And that's hard to do right now. So I do have some other options for you. Most libraries carry a copy of Kathy Duffy's. So it's Kathy with a C and Duffy, Duffy. She has a fabulous book that I don't think it gets redone every year, but every couple of years, on reviews of the top homeschool curricula. And she has researched all of it and every subject. Check that copy out from your library, flip through it, and see what's going to work for you. I'm going to give you a big tip. If you have more than one kid, I have 3, most likely they're going to be different styles of learners, and they're going to need different curricula. And that's okay. That's another big piece of advice I have for you. Don't feel like it's one size fits all. It's okay to use different stuff for different kids. And here is my second biggest tip, other than doing your own research on laws. It's okay to ditch curricula a few months in if it is not working for you and your child. Perfectly okay. And I know that can be painful, especially if you've dished out a lot of money on your first choice and then it's a bomb, like just not feeling it. But trust me, you and your child will be happier in the long run. And our biggest goal here is to raise human beings who enjoy learning, who love learning, and who know how to find answers for themselves. Okay. So if you're in tears every day, like we were, learn to read in 100 easy lessons or something like that. Oh my gosh. That almost kept my third child from ever learning to read at all. So we threw that one out the window, and now she reads just as much as her older two ever did. My older two ever did, sorry. Okay, so give yourself and your children grace. If you are new to this journey, if you have been in this journey for decades, anybody will tell you you're all going to make mistakes. There are going to be hard days. There are going to be days you need to forgive each other. And that's okay. And that kind of leads me into my next point. It's okay to take a day off. It's okay to take a week off. It's okay to take a month off. You see, because you're in charge of your child's education, you can fit things in as needed. Spending time cooking dinner together is math and science rolled into one. You could even fit history in there, depending on what kind of meal you're cooking, and geography. There are all kinds of amazing ways you're going to realize. And your children are also learning life skills along the way rather than just sitting in a classroom, right? I mean, I can remember when we first started, my child all of a sudden wanted to wash dishes all the time. I'm like, okay, that's okay. She's having fun doing it. All that angst she felt over being in school was gone. And so, yeah, we used washing dishes as kind of a therapeutic thing. Crazy, right? Okay. And here's a main thought I want to leave you with. You're going to doubt yourself sometimes. Your children are going to doubt what's going on sometimes. First of all, that is completely normal. And what I want you to know is every single parent has doubts, no matter whether they have their child in public school, private school, charter school, online school, virtual school, or they've chosen this homeschooling journey. It is absolutely normal to have those doubts. But what I want you to know is you've got this. Even on those days when you feel like you're failing big time, you have got this. If you have your child's best interest at heart, and I know you do, they are going to turn out phenomenally, okay? And some of them are going to choose to go to college. Our eldest, that's her senior year. She applied to 12 schools, got into 10, waitlisted at 1, and rejected. I kind of laugh at that word, from 1, okay? If your child finds out they have a strength in a trade school, that is a beautiful gift. And if your child decides they're just going to go on and create something fabulous online and don't need any more formal schooling after 12th grade, hey, the world is their oyster. So please know you are doing a fabulous job, especially on those hard days that tend to hit in February when the world seems a little dreary. Okay, if you have any questions, please comment them below. And I'll also give you a link to my other video on what it's like homeschooling older ones, because the the younger years can be confusing, and then the older years, it's just a whole different ballgame. So take care.